Where resources are relatively abundant, the capture fisheries industry subsector offers a level of promise and solid potential. There are many economically important fish species present in Indonesian waters, including tuna and skipjack tuna. These species are very attractive in the market, both regionally and internationally. Currently, Indonesia promotes a sustainable fisheries development policy through the use of selective fishing gear, which is environmentally friendly and in accordance with the principles of rational and responsible fisheries. For example, in the usage of pole and line and handline fishing gear in tuna fishing activity. An example can be seen among the fishermen of Tembaga Subdistrict, Bitung District in North Sulawesi Province. They are using pole and line fishing gear to catch skipjack tuna. In the past, these waters around Bitung held a rich abundance of tuna. Unfortunately today, levels have declined substantially compared to the 1980s. At that time, fishermen could get a tuna catch of about 5 tons just by sailing up to 5 miles from the coast. Nowadays, to get the same amount of tuna, fishermen have to travel a distance of 120 miles or more from shore.
Beda dengan jaring-jaring lokalan Indonesia yang termasuk masih tradisional. Kalau jaring-jaring manual-manual itu termasuk tradisional. Kalau jaring-jaring Filipina kan yang pukat-pukat harimau itu kan teknologinya tinggi kan. Jadi sekali sikat, berapa yang ada di rompon itu habis. Nggak ada yang sisanya. Ikan kecil, ikan besar, sedangkan kutu air pun mati. Apalagi cekalang yang agak sedikit besar. Jadi itulah kendala-kendala bagi kami kapal-kapal nelayan tradisional yang semakin sulit cari ikan, itulah kendala-kendalanya.
Pole and line vessels are equipped with a live bait tank, water sprinkling system, HUHATE or pole and line fishing gear, and a fish hole. This fishing vessel has a cruising speed of over 10 knots and has good stability in order to pursue schools of fish. After preparing all the necessary supplies, including fuel, food, fresh water, and ice, the PT Dioscuri No. 8, with a gross weight of 90 tons, is slowly leaving the port of Bitung. The first stop is to buy the live bait, cultivated in cages, or FADs, near the sea, from vendors located about 40 miles from the port of Bitung. The high price of live bait and its limited availability remain as pressing problems for the local fishermen. Sometimes, to get live bait, they even have to sail as far as the adjacent island of Bacan at a distance of some 120 nautical miles. In order to keep the bait alive, they are placed in a tank, constructed in such a way that the circulation of water and oxygen can run smoothly. 50-watt lamps are used to provide lighting for the tanks. This is because the light provides a positive phototaxis for the fish. If they are not installed, the live bait can move erratically, collide with one another, and even damage the bait to the point it cannot be used anymore. Morning breaks, and on the eastern horizon, the sky begins to redden. The skipper, Nicodemos Nelwan, presses the siren in the vessel wall. The crew begins to prepare. Meanwhile, on deck, a spotter with binoculars stares unceasingly at the distant sea, searching for a spark on the surface of the water with birds flying over it. That is the sign that underneath, there are hordes of swimming tuna. The Dioscuri 8 vessel moves quickly forward, diagonally to the left. After locating the schools of fish, they determine the direction the fish are taking, and then approach the horde of tuna. The schools of fish are not approached from behind, but rather from their left or right side. Now the crew begins to move to the bow of the ship to take up their positions, each preparing a bamboo rod. The fishing rod is made of reed or bamboo and uses a string fishing line with a length of 2.5 meters. The fishhook has feathers attached to entice the fish. Anglers get in position on the right and left corners of the bow of the ship. They sit on the flying deck or fishing spot and are grouped based on experience or fishing expertise. The most experienced anglers are placed at the bow of the ship, while those with medium levels of experience are located on the sides of the vessel close to the bow. Anglers with the least experience are then placed on the sides a little further from the bow of the ship. At the same time, the boy or feeder is throwing bait at the fish estimated to be within reach. The bait is thrown as rapidly as possible and in a manner to lead the fish towards the bow of the ship where they can be caught by the waiting fishermen. Live bait is used so that instead of sinking, the bait will try to rise back toward the surface, enticing the skipjack to rise nearer to the surface where they can be more easily caught. In addition, sprayers are used to spray additional water onto the surface of the sea. This is intended to obscure the view of the fish so they cannot easily distinguish between the bait and the hook that is being used. As the schools of fish near the bow, in the engine room, the machinist moves to turn off the engine. At the same time, the amount of live bait being thrown into the ocean is reduced to conserve limited supplies. The skillful hands of the anglers quickly lift the fishing rods. Fishing is carried out as rapidly as possible, given that the schools of fish can often suddenly disperse, especially if there is a bloody fish in the water or fish that escapes from the hook. Each round of fishing usually lasts 15 to 30 minutes. The use of poles and lines as a principal type of fishing gear for pelagic fishes who live in schools needs to be maintained. This is because the fish are caught one by one. In other words, poles and lines, including selective fishing gear, mean that the sustainability of an important natural resource can be guaranteed.